Hello friends, welcome to the channel. My name is Alckemy. Today you and I are going to be talking about some cool stuff. I am going to be showing you my process of how I have been making really cool timbres and textures with the analog heat and the iPad. The reason why I'm showing you off screen is because this is plugged into the analog heat, which is right there, and then it's going into the computer here. So the setup of this, or the core, the brain set, is Drambo, but what we're going to be doing is kind of getting into some crazy distorted sound design along with all of my peripherals, if you will. So yeah, this is some cool top secret stuff because it's a lot of fun with what I've been doing, and there's pretty much no limit now with whatever it is that I'm trying to get into. Basically, I was really inspired by Cage's latest track, and I was having a visit and a chat with Z, but what we kind of have going on here is a beam, a disc tube, an amp layer, kind of like so, a Pro Q3 that's just taken off the sides, fuse compressor, newfangled saturate, and then whatever I got in here is going to be going through this. So the first thing that I'm actually going to start with is a scaler, because we're going to utilize this to get some kind of sounds or some kind of chords within this. Now the other thing that I want to do is I would like to, no, we're not going to use Quanta, we're going to use Nambu, because it's a very straightforward synth, and so if I just kind of go into a brand new tab like this, it should sound like this. Pretty nice. So I'm just going to quickly design a very basic patch that has a little bit of FN movement, not too much. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to set the sustain. Now it looks like I did something on the pitch here. Which I didn't even know that we could do that, but I can set a very fast pitch envelope here, so. Nice. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull off of the sustain, off of E, and make sure that everything else is off. And we can kind of start playing with this now to get some really cool stuff. So on this course here, it looks like that's at a really high rate, so I'm going to set this to something that's going to go back to normal, so that way it's not completely off pitch. And there we go. That sounds pretty nice. That sounds really cool. So maybe I'll just record that in, because that was kind of an accident. Man, I don't know what I just played, but that was really cool. The other thing is that I have this on rolling sampler, so I can actually pull that. But I'm going to see if I can play that again. Nice. That's freaking sick. So one thing that I want to do with this is I actually want to export this MIDI, just because it's super nice. So I'm going to send that clip to myself. But now that we have something like that, we can actually get into the part that I wanted to talk about, which is getting into the distortion and the other things. So we're going to start this off with using an instance of Voltor, which is basically just an audio unit kind of like this, and it's based off of the Culture Vulture. Nice. Let's grab a convolution reverb. Let's grab a OTT. That's so nice. Now I'm going to start to introduce the OTT, or sorry, the analog key. This has a lot of really cool texture in it, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do just to kind of make it, you know, whatever it is that we want it to be. But just having the MIDI lined up now and having all this other stuff means that we have a lot of room to play. So, for example, one thing that I might want to do is go back to this and add an arpeggiator. The Blease one is actually pretty nice. I didn't think that it was going to be that great, but I don't really have any complaints over that. But with this guy, we can just pull up this preset that I have, which is just a relatively slow, with a relatively slow thing with a Euclidean sequencer on it, and we're going to make this at like 1, so that way it's kind of slow. But between this, we can kind of play with different offsets here with the Euclidean sequencer in the play mode, and this is going to give us a lot of different textures that will sound really nice. But the key to it is I don't want to smash the chords. I kind of want to play it relatively slow and see if I can continue to find overtones that are going to continue to give me some really cool, like, just distorted sounds. Oop, I hit play on the spacebar. So we can do is introduce attack on this. And then I'm just going to pull all that out. Sick. So some other things that I might try is I might change this octave here to kind of jump around a bit. So if we set this to octave 3 and then make this the gate a little bit longer, we might be able to not only play this forward but also backwards, where we're going to be getting different stuff. Let's see what that sounds like. Octave up. So something that's really nice about this, and we're going to actually kind of have an intermodal play between this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this track. I'm going to switch over to track 2, and this is going to be something completely different, but I'm going to actually pull up an instance of Quanta now. And just for fun, I'm going to airdrop this sound to myself via Bitwig. And we need to figure out which that is. I think it's the last thing on here. There it is. So I'm going to pull this out to the timeline, or sorry, pull this out to my desktop and right click and go share. And then I'm going to airdrop this to myself on the iPad. As you can see, it goes here. Hit done. And with this recent thing, we can pull that up here in just a second as soon as that's done. Almost done. 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, so I'm going to move this file to my samples, rolling sampler, and copy that there. And so now, when I go back to Drambo, and with the Quanta, I can pull up that recent thing that we just did. And now, behind this, we've got some other sounds that we can mess with just by playing the keyboard with us, and perhaps changing some stuff like this and seeing if we can get some more interesting movement that might be ambient or so. Look at that. And for some reason, this is always super quiet at first. But as you can hear, we're getting some really cool stuff. Wow. I'm just going to hit the latch button for a sec, hit push, and then introduce a clipper over here. And now I've got a sick pad. And now we can mess with this. How nice is that? So now we can do other things too. For example, we can just set this to go and give that a long thing like that. Double hit, and kind of see if I can get rid of that. Is that 10 seconds? It is. Nice. Some other stuff that we can do is we can change the position of this and also change the random. So sure why that's creating. Oh yes, I do. We're getting these like washes from this because of the grains. I'll turn on the feathering here just for fun. Holy shit, that was cool. Wow. Let's change the position. So just all these things that kind of come with this are really nice, and by changing this and changing the shape and the position and all that other stuff, we can just get some really cool movement. And then that, along with beam, is kind of playing a key role with this. So if I set this to a slower rate, perhaps maybe like 1/2, let's see what that does. Yeah, that's super cool. It might also be neat to just try to go for octaves on this as opposed to the power. So, and then maybe what I can also do is kind of set this to where this goes indefinitely. So. And the thing is, too, is that not taking this for face value at any point in time is kind of the key to this. But what's so neat about it is that at any point in time, say I turn this off and turn this off for a bit, we can kind of take something like this and so we can kind of utilize maybe a phrase from this or so. And when we print this, we can kind of shape this out and pull it. Something else is maybe we can kind of put this in repitch mode and just let that kind of fade in. And I guess maybe we might want to try to bring it back out with the fuse compressor again or so. But really, with some of this stuff, it's just right, so like even that, even though it's super crunchy and what I would likely do is figure out where that crunch is coming from and try to pull out those resonances. It's literally just rumble. But now that we have something like that, we can kind of create an idea with this, because if we send this through another instance of reverb, just taking a simple phrase, perhaps holding shift and bringing that back out and seeing what that does. So maybe seeing what that unfolds into could be cool. So maybe even something like this could be sick. So that's really cool. I wonder if and what's really cool with this too is we can kind of split this up. That we can kind of use that now as something. So even if we were to take this and kind of keep going down the rabbit hole, like it's only a matter of time before we find something that we're interested in. But even that could be its own phrase, because we could crazy. Yeah, now it's just starting to sound like jagged metal and stuff. But anyways, that's kind of what I've been playing around with, and it's really fun to utilize this to create both basses and pads and stuff. I've been kind of spending a heyday of just creating some stuff for Rolling Sampler, but we've been getting some gnarly sounds just from just cool sounds. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. And then over here we get into the melodic things that I was previously recording. But yeah, hopefully that was interesting. You don't need an analog key to do this kind of stuff, nor do you need an iPad. Just get some kind of analog modeled distortion and reverb and compress the hell out of it, and then you should be getting some cool overtones and stuff like that. That should be super sick. So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and have fun making crazy wannabe Lorne sounds.